moving on up to the east side, to a deluxe apartment in the sky. We're moving on up to the east side. We finally got a piece of the pie. Fish don't fry in the kitchen. Bees don't burn on the grill. It took a whole lot of trying just to get up that hill. Now we're up in the big leagues, getting our turn at bat. As long as we live, it's you and me, baby. There ain't nothing wrong with that. Well, we're moving on to the east side, to a
Hello, everyone. Let's check to see if the audio works, what it does. So I hope you guys love that intro. I thought it was pretty funny. I wish it would have been a little bit longer, but it pretty much speaks the truth, right? I mean, a little cartoon like that actually speaks, says 1,000 words. I think that video alone, that little cartoon actually shows exactly the state of what Canada really is. So I thought I'd share that. I thought it was pretty cool. I thought that was a great intro, because most of the stuff I'm going to talk about tonight, again, is a lot about the immigration and what diversity has been doing to not just Canada, but throughout the world. I'm sure you guys seen that protest in Toronto over the weekend. I mean, it's just, like I said, guys, it's just exposure. I'm glad it's getting out there. I'm glad it's actually getting out there in my lifetime, but things will be bad before they get better. You know, I think that's the best analogy I could say. So before we start the podcast and go through a bunch of videos that I have, you guys, we got to do the shout outs, you know, to the common sensors, to the freedom fighters, to our American family, of course, to the pure bloods, once upon a time, pure bloods, and the list goes on. So the first shout out, guys, is going out to, let's see here if I can get on here. It's kind of slow tonight. For computer. So first shout out's going out to Gilles Bourgeois, Sean, brother from a different mother in Oshawa. How you doing, Brent from North Carolina? Yolanda, Mr. Vin 64. How you doing, Mr. Vin 64? Andrea, Suzanne from Penfield, New Brunswick. Who else is this? It's got to be Nicholas. When it's a big paragraph like that, it's got to be Nick. Good evening, Jeff and Patriot family. Wow, did I see the terrorist issues firsthand in Toronto on Saturday? Our Trump flags caused a lot of chaos. Yeah, I can imagine, my friend. I know you sent me something, and I was just looking into it. How you doing, Juanita, Miss Andrea, and brother from a different mother, Joelle? What's this? Hi, Jeff. Michelle can't make it tonight. She's in Facebook jail. Really? Ouch. Yuck. I think that might be a first for Michelle. How you doing, Mo? From Somerset, Karen Ross, Vincent, brother from a different mother, Miss Eagles from Ontario. Who else? Ron from the Peg area. Cheers to you. Joan, Miss Carrie, who had no hydro today, she was saying. She didn't know. She was all worried that something happened with her hydro and there was no internet. She didn't know if she was going to make the show. But I told her to pray. Well, I didn't say to pray, but I knew it would happen. It would, the hydro would come back on. How you doing, Dan Marsh, Miss Nancy, Mr. Galaxy Man 57? Okay, breaking news: Canada has invaded Iran. CBC reports. I didn't hear that yet, my friend. Canada has invaded Iran, or Iran has invaded Canada. Maybe it's that, because everything the news says, you just look at it the opposite way. How you doing, Linda, Kathy? Who else? Miss Kim Abbott, Nancy. Who else? Sheila. Can't catch the replay. I know Sheila's from Texas. Manny missed it. I can send it back to you. You can watch the rerun, but I can definitely send it to you, Manny. Who else? Vincent, did I hear that Trump will gladly take over Cuba? Yeah, of course he's going to take over Cuba. I mean, he's going to take over Cuba until they appoint someone in there that can actually run a country. I mean, because Cuba's been in the shits for as long as I've been around, as I know, 29 years, because that's how old I am. But I mean, Cuba hasn't really been successful. I think Cuba, I don't know if it was the 60s or the 70s, before, of course, Justin Trudeau's father came into power. They were a booming country once upon a time, just like Venezuela. And then, of course, the Communist Party, Castro came in, and that was it, right? So that's just common sense. Who else here? Trudeau is in the front line. Kathy, it's on the table. I don't know. I kind of missed Elizabeth from out west. Roland. Who else? Gary, Genevieve from the Rock, Miss Sharon from out west too, Christine. Anyway, and the list goes on, guys. So I got a ton of videos, so we're just gonna do as much as we can. Is it 1959? I don't know, Mo. I didn't do any in the research on the Cuba, but I know once upon a time it was a very successful country. Like, I mean, very successful. It was booming. It was like, probably, I won't say they're one of the richest countries in the world, but I seen some past videos of it, and it was amazing. They still have cars from the 50s, 60s that are, on that they were in mint condition, and they still drive around. But yeah, as soon as Castro came into it, Justin Trudeau's real father, that was it. He pretty much killed it for everybody, just like other, communist dictators came in. They did it for everybody. All right. So we'll start off with the boring stuff, which is Canadian stuff, Canadian news. And then we'll get into the real stuff, the world stuff, the stuff that's more important. So let's start off with this. I want to play this on the last live last Thursday, but I didn't have time. It's 1 minute and 16 seconds. This is Canada's future if we do not blame, shame all the Liberal voters. Like I've said, guys, it's time to shame and blame anybody that you know. I don't care if it's your siblings. I don't care if it's your best friend. I don't care if it's your coworkers. I don't care if it's, well, I kind of care if it's your boss, because obviously, if they're a Liberal boss, they're going to fire you, because that's the point. That's the worst thing about having a Liberal boss, is they're pretty much douchebags, and they will fire you no matter what, right? It's happened. I've seen it personally. So we'll just do this. I'll play this little video. It's 1 minute and 16 seconds. We'll talk about it, and we'll move on to the other video and go on and go on. There's a lot of stuff I got here. So let's, and I know Ron loves videos, so let's go with this. It's going to be a great night for Ron.
Canada, the nation, I hate to say this because I grew up there, right? But Canada, it's a toxic asset right now. Housing prices are like, sky high. The Canadian economy, 40% of the Canadian economy is real estate speculation. Canada is this glorified money laundering operation. It's lost all its legitimacy by supporting this genocide in Gaza. There are hundreds of thousands of homeless in Canada, yet Carney still continues to send tens of billions of dollars to Ukraine to fight a pointless war, causing about 1 million Ukrainians to die for no particular reason. These Canadian companies refuse to invest in the country, and many of them are fleeing the country. So Canada is a toxic asset, and what you do with a toxic asset as a banker is you sell it to foreigners. And who are the foreigners? The Qataris and the Chinese, okay? So that's the grand strategy that Carney has. And everything else, like this grand rhetoric about a rules-based international order, it's just, as you say, marketing. That's all it is, okay? Don't pay any attention to it. Watch what he does. So what he's going to do is this. He's going to call an early election, probably late spring, okay, April. He's going to win by a landslide. He's going to have a super majority. And then he'll start to asset strip Canada, okay? That's the plan.
You heard it from him. That's exactly what I was saying. If he wins majority, he's going to literally get rid of all the assets. They already got rid of all the gold, but like you said, asset strip. And then he's going to have the country being taken over, sold to either, well, China. Basically, we all know it's going to be China. But like I've said, and I think you heard it many times, is Trump's not going to allow that. He's already made the point that he will not allow Chinese diplomats on Canadian soil. So I'm hoping it happens. So because I'm waiting for shit to happen against any liberal voter, against anybody that votes liberal at this point. Because to me, at this point, any liberal voter at this point is basically, I'm not going to say a terrorist, but literally is destroying the country. They're a traitor. You know, they should be charged for treason. All right. And we all know what happens with treason, right? They literally should be trialed for treason. Anybody that at this point that is still voting liberal is they're going against the country. Because if you haven't seen or haven't felt the amount of impact that has been happening in the last 11 years, just on immigration alone, I had someone post something the other day, and I read it, and it was people in Calgary, and one person wrote, her headline on her profile status was, "Can someone help out this girl in Calgary?" She's a mother, because she's at the point she got an eviction notice and she's going to be homeless with her kid. Can you imagine that? So people were writing and they were saying the same thing. Listen, I'm at that point too. I've been trying to look for a job. It's been about a year, and I've been reading all the posts, and there wasn't one positive post from 50, 60 people at the time about they were giving her advice on how to find a job. No, they were all in the same boat. I've been trying to find a job. I've been trying to find a job. And they all said the same thing. Immigrants, 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 all of them. I can't remember who shared this. I can't remember who shared this. I don't know if it was Michelle who was watching, but can't comment. I seen that. But anyway, someone wrote, can someone adopt this dog? Like, can they not adopt it, but can they foster this dog because the owners are soon to be homeless? Can you imagine? I like to call myself an alpha male, but I have a big heart. Like, I watched that movie the other night. I forgot what the name was. Something Leave Behind, or Leave Him Behind, or something like that. A very great movie, guys. I mean, the whole theater was all teared up. And for me, I hate to say it, but I was probably the biggest teardropper in there. I try to make it unnoticed by chewing gum loud, but it was unbelievable with this movie, and I knew it was going to be a bad tearjerker, but wow. So anyway, it's at the point that people are going to, like that professor said, hundreds of thousands of homeless. The way it's going, the way that the economy is going, I say within another year, there'll be at least 500,000-600,000 people that will be homeless or living out of their car. All right, just to let you know. From what I can see, at the rate we're going, and with the amount of Africans and Punjabis that they're bringing in, there will be a great number, triple of homeless people. And I can promise you that from what I can see. This is why I've been telling you people, if you know any liberal voters, you need to shame and blame them and stop being so quiet. Check out this new refugee scam. You guys are going to love this. And we all know who scams when it comes to refugees. But this is what's happening around the world. But check out what this country's been doing.
Most refugees and asylum seekers coming into the West are fakes and liars. And here's the proof. In 2015, Norway received more than 31,000 asylum applications of people wanting to live in the country. But very soon after, Norway implemented serious restrictions on how much welfare money that refugees would have access to. And in just 1 year, the amount of applications it received dropped 89% to just 3,500. And this seems to indicate that instead of legitimately fleeing war or persecution, most asylum seekers coming into the West just want to live off our tax money like parasites and not contribute to our countries.
And you're seeing it all over the world, guys, because that's the whole point. This is all by design. is to literally destabilize the economy. So how they started it to get these immigrants in here, they fed you that bullshit. Diversity is a strength. When countries are in need, we have to be there to help them. It's the right thing to do. Remember those stupid slogans? It's the right thing to do. So that's how they snuck these immigrants in. And if you went against it, it was racist. And they brought the whole racist card out, right? This is what's happening. And I made the news. I made headline news, guys, through Canada being a racist and a homophobic and all that, just for speaking out the truth once upon a time. And they tried to get people to boycott my nightclub at my gyms. And it didn't boycott. It actually made it more busier. And to this very day, even 15 years, it's 15, 14 years later, I'm still talking about it. And I'm still don't care if anyone calls me racist, because I would hold that as a badge of honor, because I say it as it is. I consider myself a realist, and you need to take that racist word and shove that and get that out of your vocabulary, because that does not exist, right? We have some good black people. We have some bad black people. We have some good white people. We have some bad white people. But the majority of certain races are very bad, and there's no such thing as a race card when it comes to that. Let's go with I'll give you an example. Let's stick to Canada before I get to the other stuff. Let's stick to Canada. So speaking of Canada, check this 2-minute video out with the amount of corruption when it comes to liberals, when you actually have the CSIS, which is like the FBI in Canada, literally coming out and saying this.
So let me get this straight. Canada's top spy just admitted foreign countries interfered in our election, but refused to tell us where and how. This is Vanessa Lloyd from CSIS. She just testified that during the 2025 election, they detected instances of foreign interference in Canadian ridings. China, Russia, India, Pakistan, all trying to interfere with our democracy. Now you might be saying to yourself, this is great. They're going to tell us which ridings were targeted, right? Wrong. When MPs asked how many ridings were affected, Lloyd refused to answer. Her reason? Well, they didn't want to amplify the message of foreign interference actors. So let's set the record straight. Foreign governments tried to manipulate our votes in our communities, and CSIS won't tell us if our riding was one of them. Why? Because it might help the bad guys? As a Canadian, you should be upset with this. And you know why? If your riding was targeted, you deserve to know. Your MP maybe only won because of foreign interference campaigns. Maybe you specifically were targeted by foreign interference. They can acknowledge that foreign interference exists, but they can't tell you if it affected your community. That's not protecting.
So yeah, it goes on for about 30 seconds. I think we get the gist of it. So yeah, I mean, even the CSIS are saying that that the politicians have been compromised, and we all know this. But this is why when someone says I back the blue, no, I would back up on the blue is the slogan that should be. No one should be backing the blue. They should be backing up on the blue, because at this point they're just as corrupt. If they think they don't see it, they just, guys, remember when I told you that there's so much evil in the world, and the biggest evilness right now is money, and greed. And these blue corrupted cops rather care more for their pensions and their paychecks than what they really swore an oath to. You understand? Because they didn't swear an oath to protect the community. They haven't. They swore an oath to protect the government, because that's what they're doing. Because if you haven't figured out what's going on with Mark Carney and how many conflicts of interest with his Brookfield management, check this out. There's actually a website called Carney's website. You'll see it anyway if you guys want to check it out. But you don't even understand how many conflict of interest. And trust me, it just takes one conflict of interest to kick you out of politics. But check this out.
I have an incredible announcement to make. There's a new website that was just launched. It's called carneywatch.ca. It's an ongoing record of his flip-flops, his broken promises, and cover-ups. And it goes into things that he has said, and then he does the complete opposite. And you can send this to anyone. Read through it, have them read through it. Because it outlines everything, including his conflicts of interest, things that he's hiding from you, including things like the vaccine cover-up, where the injury records were sealed for 15 years until 2040. It outlines everything, including him being a counterfeit conservative, where he steals conservative ideas and then he waters them down. You should look at how many there actually are. It's honestly unbelievable. And it also includes a map of the world tour events that he's been doing, including the nearly $1 million he had to pay for a private jet. And you can click on any of these items on things that have been disclosed and things that have not been disclosed. Everything on the site is fully referenced, and it is by far probably the best accountability project that exists right now in Canada. Everything on there has a source and is something that cannot be argued by anyone. And by the way, I built it in under a day.
Leave it to Mario, and he built it for underneath a day. But you see what Mario had behind him? He had Donald Trump back there, right? He had Donald Trump back there. So at least he knows. At least he knows what exactly. I hope he knows exactly what's happening. And if you think Donald Trump's going to let it slide, no. Donald Trump's got his hands, and he said, you know, this is how I project it. Okay, you Canadians up there, you want to vote Liberal? You want to take shots at me? I'll tell you what, we're going to let you guys feel the pain up there. Just enough so you guys are hurting. I'm going to take care of this other business around the world. And then I'm going to come up and clean, you know, the neighbors. And that's what I've been telling you guys. He's going to come up and clean this business, but we have to feel the pain. And we literally got to be on our hands and knees. I think I've already said that hundreds of times. We're literally going to be on our hands and knees when he eventually comes in, because of the traitors, the people that are committing treason. So let's keep on going with more stuff. Check out what this MP says. And let me tell you, this MP is telling you the truth. You know why? Because what happens in the court if an MP or anybody, but especially an MP, if he goes out and says something that is not true, what's that called again, guys? Because I like a little bit of interaction with you guys. When someone goes and says something, especially on TV or on newspapers or even on social media, if they go and they say something about you and it's not true, what is that? What is that called again? Does anybody know? Anybody? Anybody? Yeah, I see Matt Walsh wants Trump to invade. What's that called? What's that lawsuit called? If you go slander and defamation. Thank you, Elizabeth. Yeah, slander and defamation. So check this out.
I've said now 3 weeks ago, I think, that the Liberals have always been corrupt, and that's part of their culture as an organization. And here you have it, because if Marois Risky has already spoken to UPAC, and that this police force thinks it's serious enough that they're conducting many investigations, I mean, we're dealing with serious stuff here. Potentially, the leader of the Parti libéral du Québec has been elected through some form of fraud. Potentially, an elected member of parliament has used fraud in its own election, and potentially tens of thousands of dollars has been used for corrupting the result of the leadership race, in which case we need to find out what is that money, where it's coming from. All those questions are depending on the truthfulness of the text messages that we've seen in the media. And I think that the first thing the UPAC will do is to verify whether those text messages are true. And if they are, there's a whole organization. It's not Pablo Rodriguez. It's the organization as a whole. And it's part of the culture. It's been there like this for decades. It's not going to change.
You must be enjoying watching this with your popcorn, as it's just helping you in the polls, right?
No, but what I'm enjoying is that I've been threatened by the Liberal Party of being sued for saying that they're corrupt. 3 weeks later, there you go.
Wow, I didn't even watch that. I only seen parts of it at the beginning, and I'm like, I want this. I didn't even know that the Liberal Party is already trying to sue him. Well, that's the cool thing, because you know what happens when you try to sue? Then you bring out the truth and say, well, this, and this, and then what's it called? The precedents. So of course they're not going to try to sue him, and if they did, they're going to try their very hardest. But then I'm sure he's got proof, like we all have proof, especially with Mark Carney. They just got to go on the loose and show all that. And let's not forget about what happened with the Liberal leader in Quebec, how he was he had to step down. Remember that, guys? I reported that last year sometime. I can't remember. It was November, December. Can't remember his name. How he got in there with fraud. But no news is talking about that anymore, right? So speaking of idiots and retards, if your premier, sorry, Ron, if your premier's name Wab Kinew, right there, you have a problem. If your premier is a straight out native that tried to do videos of trying to be a gangster / rap singer, then you know there's a serious problem. But when you have an idiot native person that's a premier that says this, then you know Manitoba's got a problem.
I hope this war in Iran ends. These gas prices are too high, and kids are being killed for no reason. Even the Trump administration cannot explain why they're at war in Iran right now. And I mean, like, the Epstein files seems to be as good of a reason as anyone else can figure out. So stop the war.
Guys, this is an elected official. He's the premier of Manitoba, and he just said that the war in Iran is happening because of the Epstein files. He's insane. Guys, this is not normal. This is a joke. Manitoba has the ability to have a true leader like Obi Khan. This guy is so incredibly intelligent, and you have a premier like Wab Kinew, who's talking about the war in Iran being related to the Epstein files. I can't believe this. Guys, clowns have taken over, and this country is becoming a circus. People in Manitoba need to wake up. Having a premier like this is not only insulting, but it's dangerous. He may put on a nice smile, say all the right things, but he has no idea what the hell he's talking about.
Yeah, I've always said it. You know me when it comes to talking about the average brain cell of most of the natives, but to actually have him as a premier goes to show you the average. Sorry, Ron, this is not pointing out to you. The average IQ of the Manitoban voters. And just to let you know, Manitoba is completely native now. And I'm not just talking about the Canadian natives. I am talking about it is literally the center base of the Punjabi community. And I think Ron maybe can confirm that. But I do believe I get a lot of messages saying you should see the amount of Indians / Punjabis that are literally settling in Manitoba. I guess that they're going to make that their hub. And then, of course, they're going to, like any other parasite and cockroach, they spread out, right? And that's what they're doing. They're not stupid, guys. They literally, the government focused to put them all in Manitoba because I hate to say it, but sorry, Ron, but it really is a shithole of the province. It really is the shithole of Canada. I say it, you know me, there's the Archie Bunker personality. So let's put them there, and then they'll eventually spread out as they ravage town to town, just like Locust does, right? Am I right? Hindus and Ukrainians? Yeah, gotta love that war in Ukraine, right? Speaking of that, check this out, guys. You guys will love this for the people that go eat at Tim Hortons.
Can you see it? Are you getting it? His feet on the counter? Yeah, look at them. Bro, where's his shoes? Oh, no. Yeah, but then he sprays it after.
That doesn't matter, bro. What if he had toe fungus? Oh my god.
That's disgusting.
Don't say anything.
Tom, why is he on the counter?
Hey, man, why is he on the counter? I watched videos where they were on the counter with no shoes, no socks or anything at a Subway making sandwiches, like preparing the meat on a Subway. I think I showed videos of that. Why are they on the counter? This is why. Make this make sense, okay? Check this out. Make this make sense. Hindu people, Punjabis, Indians, Bangladesh are the most filthiest race in the entire world. You can take that logic. You can take that statistic. You don't need to believe me, but trust me, you can look at it anywhere, any which way you want in stats. Those people are the most disgusting, unhealthy people in the entire world. Okay. Not only are they're the most disgusting race in the entire world, but they're the most corrupt when it comes to scamming. All right. on every level you can imagine. So make it make sense why those same people are in every restaurant, every fast food, right? Everything, every restaurant, every fast food, every Tim's, every Burger King, McDonald's, they're in everyone when they're the most disgusting people. Where I think you guys seen that video. I couldn't share it because I couldn't get the video. Where I'm hoping you guys seen the video that went viral with the girl, the Muslim girl or the Punjabi lady having a dump on the TTC subway in Toronto. I hope you guys seen that. I mean, because if you didn't, I'm sure it's going to be popping around. Just stick around on YouTube, or not YouTube, but Facebook. You're going to see that video. She's literally having a shit, and a guy's filming her. And you have a liberal who I wish I would have been on the train, because I literally would have grabbed their face and put it in the Muslim or the Punjabi's shit, because she was giving the guy who's filming the person saying, have some decency. She's trying to have a shit. And he's like, he couldn't believe what he was hearing. This lady giving him shit for filming a lady having a shit on the TTC. See, that's with the elbows up. This is where the elbows up would come into play, right? Because that person would definitely get an elbow. Doesn't even matter if people were filming me, giving her an elbow. I would have taken the charge any day. But yeah, I think, did you guys seen it? Kathy said she's seen it. It was a piss. Sean says it was a piss. Okay, was it a piss or a shit? Okay, a piss. She took a piss. She took a shit. Either way, Sean said it was a piss. The person that was filming said it was a shit. So we'll just, either way, they were urinating or pooping on the TTC transit, just like that in front of everybody. Like it was like nothing. Let's just put it that way. So either way, I seen the video. It was very disturbing and disgusting. I wouldn't have been filming. I would have been probably, in front of them, shaming them. Who knows what I would have, the reaction, but I wouldn't have been sitting down filming. Let's just put it that way. So for the people that live in New Brunswick, especially New Brunswick, when I tell you that New Brunswick's premier is bringing 135,000 Africans, which is the second worst race in the world, for rudeness, politeness, like they don't believe in the word politeness. They don't even know what that definition is. Just for being ignorant when it comes to the amount of chaos that they bring, the amount of scams that they do in a restaurant, you don't even understand. The amount of laziness, I mean, like just the laziness, because they are the most laziest race in the world, is the African people. But check this out, what's happening right now in Portugal.
Let's jump over to Portugal and take a bus ride and see what that's like. You ready to open up the doors?
Squished woman, elderly, getting shoved past by African migrants.
Everyone laughs at her. And I think someone's taking her bag on the other side.
Import the third world, become the third world was not just a slogan. And my politics or whatever is the opposite of letting this happen in your country.
Diversity is our strength. And here's diversity pushing this old lady, squishing her and taking her bag. Bus drivers used to be like strict. And you have rules on your bus and everyone has to follow. You can get thrown off and whatever.
Yeah.
They don't have that anymore.
The social contract used to be, you stand up when an old lady gets on. Old people, pregnant people. Instead, they crush her.
Yeah, now she's slow. It's an opportunity for you to get ahead of her because she can't move that fast.
This is exactly, and I don't care what anybody says, well, that's just the brand. No, that's all of them. That's 90%. We won't say 95. We'll say 90% of Somalians, Africans, that's their type of mentality. I know because it's happened to me personally. Really happened to me personally. It still happens. For example, I was at Staples a few months ago, and I already said this. There's about 6 machines, guys. This is the truth. There's 6 machines, copy machines, and one African lady had all 6 machines going, and she wouldn't let anybody touch or copy into the machines. And you should have seen she was yelling and screaming at one of the ladies that was working there. Who happened to be white, which was probably the only white person working there, to be honest with you. And that's when I lost my shit because she was being really rude. I said, listen, you're from Africa. I don't care which part of Africa. I said, you need to go back home. And I said, right now, I'm taking one in your machine and there's nothing you can say about it. And if you don't treat that girl any more better, I guaranteed bad stuff's going to happen to you. And it might happen to you right now in front of your face. And I said a couple more harsh words, which we're not going to, say on the show. But let's just say she just looked at me surprised. And I said, you can give me attitude and I can promise you it's coming back at you at the same time. Hoping she would have did something, because you don't understand. I'm from Toronto. I was born in Toronto, not raised, but born. My family live in Toronto. I've been robbed 3 times in my life in Toronto by the same people, just to let you know. And there's other stuff, but we won't get into that. I know firsthand of what this community can do to communities, right? And if the people know that they're from Ontario, you know what I'm talking about. In Scarborough, they take it over. And Jane and Finch, they taken over. They had taken over downtown by Queen Street once upon a time, but they all shipped out to Scarborough now. And it's probably the most dangerous neighborhoods in the entire Ontario area is wherever they reside. It's always dangerous. And that was before. Now we're getting the turban heads that are literally in a war against each other in the tow trucking industry, which my dad owned tow trucking, one of the biggest tow trucking outfits in downtown Toronto. And I guaranteed he's probably happy today, because now you have these Punjabis who shouldn't be driving in the first place, owning these tow trucks, and they're setting each other on fire, the tow trucks on fire, because of competition and shooting and stuff like that. And it's such a big thing in Toronto tow trucking that there was a big write-up and news article about it last summer, with the amount of corruption and shootings just in the tow trucking industry, which is turbines. Now, when my dad owned it, it was all bikers. All his drivers, there's like 10 drivers. They were all bikers. So this shit wouldn't have happened, because they would have been found in a dumpster. So I wish my dad was still in it, to be honest with you, because I guaranteed this wouldn't have lasted that long. Check this out, because we're going to forget about Canada. We're going to talk about this guy, Jake. I think his name is Jake Allen. I think you guys seen him, but I love Trump. Trump's my number one guy. But if Trump ever stepped down from office, I want this guy to be the president of the United States, and of course, North America.
1900. The world was 30% white. Fast forward 125 years, we are down to 7%. The Islamification of Europe is particularly aimed at the destruction of white people. The Islamification of America is aiming to meet the same goal. Our people, white Christian, European, Western civilization, we built the arts. We built the Colosseum. We have ran the world into the industrial age. And now, this people here, the Muslim community, is looking to drag us back. They're looking to oppress women, oppress homosexuals. They're looking to destroy everything that makes America great. President Trump, send ICE into Dearborn. These people have overstayed their visas. They're H-1B chain migration invaders, and they have come to this country to destroy our way of life. We know exactly your laws in your book about lying to our faces, pretending to be Americans, wearing your suits. But that doesn't happen anywhere else where you guys are in charge. There are 53 Muslim majority countries, and in all of them, it is tyranny, destruction, it is shithole living. We have to call it what it is. You guys don't live like we do. We don't want you in our country. We will come and eat your shawarma in Somalia, okay? We don't need it here in Michigan. We don't need it in any part of America. We have a right to self-determination. Our founding fathers fought and died for our posterity, for white Americans. And we're being driven out. You come here and you marry 4 or 5 women and you outbreed us. You change the laws. You make all of our country look like the places that you fled from. We don't want you here. Respectfully, get the fuck out of my country. I don't want you here. We don't want you here.
That's fine.
I don't want you here. I don't want you here.
That's fine, sir.
This is our country. And
Chief,
the people,
the guys out there?
the veterans, the World War II veterans, that's blood has soaked for our constitutional republic are taking a look around Europe. They're taking a look around America, and they're saying, what the hell did we fight for? We have been taken over without a single shot fired. You guys are outbreeding, insidious parasites on the American way of life. You will never look like us. You will never eat like us. You won't build buildings like us. You are nothing. You can build nothing. Just like President Trump's great American friends have said. You guys are not us, and get the fuck out. America first. America only. God bless America. Jesus is king. Jesus.
Yeah, I don't think I could have said it any better than him on how he pointed everything out. But 7%, guys, of the world are a white population now. 7%. It's not looking any better. As he said, we're being outbreeded, and not even a shot fired, and we are being invaded without even a shot being fired. That is complete 100%. There's not one thing false in that 3-minute rant. Everything he said is happening in front of our very eyes. All right, that was video after video. Let's talk about this, because apparently this is how bad Canada is for our American friends. So we have these people that escape Iran that are coming in here, and they're actually known as terrorists in Iran. This is actually a judge in Iran that is now on Canadian soil that literally a notorious Shia cleric, so basically a judge that used to give the death sentence. He was a judge that would proceed with death sentences for the people of Iran for protesting. All right. And this piece of shit is on Canadian soil being protected on Canadian soil. And they're coming in by the hundreds every single day, just to let you know. All right. And this disgusting little show right here is these two brothers are going to serve 835 years in jail. Indian origin brothers found guilty in multi-million-dollar fraud in the United States of America could face up to 400 years. Anyway, they got 835 years because these people, that's all they do. That's all they're known for is they wake up in the middle of the night just to try to find a scheme on how to steal money. This is all these people do. All right. This is all these people do. Okay. So I got a bunch of other stuff. Let's get back to the videos because I've got a lot of stuff, guys. This is what's happening right now. If I'm not mistaken, let me try to find it in Germany. This is what's happening in Germany. God bless the it's not the crown, it's the I'm trying to remember who she is, but anyway, she's in the political, or she's got something to do with justice. But check out what she's doing in Germany, what she just announced.
Germany has just announced that they are finished with this crazy letting everybody that wants to immigrate their policy. That's right, within the next 100 days, they will close the borders, eliminate subsidies for migrants, and carry out Germany's largest deportations. Turns out that countries have borders for a reason, and importing the third world does not make a first world country stronger.
Yeah, I don't think she's the chancellor, but she has something to do with the justice system. And I'm trying to remember what the name. I can't even remember. I'm literally having a brain fart, but she's got something to do with the justice system, if I'm not mistaken. So now Germany is stepping up the par. Of course, we know about what's it called? What's that country called, guys? Where they don't let anyone in when it comes to it, and it's probably the best place to live in the world right now. Again, I'm having a brain fart, but it's north of Portugal, if I'm not mistaken. I can't believe I forgot the name. That they don't have literally no immigrants whatsoever. I shared it not too long ago. What's that place? What's that country called? Poland. I knew it started with P. Poland. Poland is the safest place in the entire world with no immigrants whatsoever. All right. So yeah, Poland. Unbelievable. All right. So for the people that don't believe things are not happening, especially with Donald Trump, let's check out this because it's finally is happening. And of course, you're not going to see this on fake news. Check this out.
Today, we got some absolutely massive news. We got the confirmation that President Trump's FBI, DOJ, DNI, and CIA are currently, and I'm not kidding when I say this, are currently building out an absolutely sweeping 10-year government conspiracy case against the entire Democrat Party, bringing forth RICO charges, treating the entire Democrat Party as one giant criminal organization, which, by the way, is exactly what it is. That is exactly what they are. Now, to really kick this off here, what I want to do is take a listen to George Papadopoulos, who is President Trump's former campaign advisor. We've got 2 clips from him I want to take a listen to. I think you guys are going to like what we're about to talk about.
The FBI, the DOJ, the DNI, and the CIA are all looking at a 10-year-long government conspiracy case in which they're likely going to look at RICO charges, look at the Democrat Party and the left as some sort of criminal organization writ large, and people like Brennan, Obama, Comey, and the upper echelons of the Democrat Party are all now in the crosshairs of this grand jury that will be impaneled just today.
And there was a grand jury impaneled down in Florida. Allegedly, we don't know exactly the nature of what the grand jury is going to be investigating or looking into or presiding over. But right now, according to Papadopoulos and various other White House insiders, this is exactly what is going on here. Now, before some people say, no, there's no way this is happening, I want to say something here. We found out yesterday afternoon, in fact, that the DOJ had been investigating Chairman of the Federal Reserve. There was a federal DOJ investigation into Jerome Powell for 2 months, starting in the middle of November of 2025, starting around 2 months ago. And keep in mind, none of us, we had no idea that this investigation was underway. This investigation into Jerome Powell, federal DOJ investigation, had been going on totally under wraps. No leakers, no whistleblowers, nothing. We had no clue for 2 whole months. And then we only ever found out about it yesterday morning because Jerome Powell himself came out and made a video talking about it. And so I'm going to ask you a question. Is it possible that there actually is a massive DOJ investigation, this 10-year sweeping RICO case they're building out that's been going on behind the scenes that none of us have known about, that it actually has been kept under wraps?
Yeah. So as you can see, could be fake, could be real. I know it's real. Mo says, can that still happen if Trump loses the midterms? Nothing's happening in the midterms. It's the same polling numbers that said Hillary Clinton was going to win. It's the same polls that were saying that Kamala Harris was going to win by a landslide. Trump is not losing nothing on the midterms. It wouldn't surprise me if Trump goes back in 2028 to do the 2028 and continue on, just to let you know, if he's physically able to. Now, that's the whole kicker. Is he going to be able? Because we're getting to close to 80, right? So that's the only crappy part about Donald Trump is his age. But I can promise you, whoever he puts in there next is not only going to be good, it's going to be by the military too. All right. So I don't even worry about stuff like that when it comes to that. All right. So here's another country, guys, that is getting rid of, is banning Muslims also.
Portugal just banned Muslims, and you need to know what they're doing. And any women that wear burqas in Portugal now will now be fined 4,000 euros. But something important, if you force somebody to wear a burqa in Portugal now, you'll face up to 3 years in prison. But you need to know that it isn't just Portugal that's done this. In fact, France, Austria, Belgium, and the Netherlands have all implemented laws banning people from wearing face coverings in public now. The party that proposed this law in Portugal today, which has now been passed, said, quote, "Today we are protecting female members of parliament, your daughters and our daughters, from ever having to use burqas in this country one day." Now, it's worth knowing, people in Portugal will still be able to wear these face coverings on, quote, aeroplanes, diplomatic premises and places of worship. They just won't be allowed to wear them in public. But this is really quite a big deal. There's a growing number of people in Europe at the moment that want to implement this across many more countries. Now, this next bit is arguably the most important point, but first, before I get to that, you can leave me a follow for some more global news like this. And this bit's the important part. Technically, the President of Portugal can still veto this bill. He hasn't signed it yet. But to be fair, it's very likely that he will sign it. So this is quite a big deal. It's about to become law in Portugal that you can no longer wear burqas in public. But the question is, what do you think?
Oh yeah, we're just going to see how that runs. But if he doesn't sign it, I can tell you something. They're going to have a snap election, and that Portugal president will be no longer with that country. I can promise you that. Okay, so there's a lot of things. I'm going to touch up a little bit about this. We all know that evil, runs the world. We all know that celebrities, singers, sports stars, you name it, YouTube influencers. We know it all. We know that the devil, Satan, is literally on earth and doing a lot of things to people, obviously, and selling your souls and stuff like that. And we all know about the celebrities, about changing their kids or having to give up their firstborn. But check this out. It's one celebrity herself talking about 14 other celebrities who are female but were born male, just to let you know. I thought it was pretty funny, just to show you that it is true. But it's going to be 14 celebrities that will probably shock you. But at the end of the day, this is why a lot of celebrities adopt kids. All right. So check this out.
There are 10 people. I know Julia Roberts has a pair. I know Madonna has a pair. I think Gwyneth Paltrow has a pair.
Handle your business. But remember, okay, you are in Hollywood, right? Check the name. Check the head on that.
Under no circumstance are you allowed to take off your blindfold. If I find that you have, I will hurt you. Do you understand? Do you understand?
Rumor was that you had both male and female reproductive parts.
What? Your parents flipped a coin, decided to raise you as a girl, but you still had a hint of a penis.
Oh my God! You started that? What? You heard that? Everyone in our school heard it.
Everybody at my school heard it. You were the hermaphrodite cheerleader from Long Island?
Oh, no! Oh, my God, this is all making so much sense to me now. This is why Adam Carter wouldn't go out with me. This is why Billy Tratt would just stay in this region.
Actually, Billy Tratt is gay now, so that one's not really our fault.
Monica, how come you never told me this? I thought it might be true. And I was afraid that you were going to cry and then show it to me. Stop staring! There's nothing there! It's not true!
I'm a tranny. I'm a man. You do not look in the mirror and not think you're beautiful. I'm a man. What?
He just puts on his wig and a dress, and it's me, and you don't know that, and it's the greatest ruse of all time. He just puts on his wig and a dress, and it's me, and
a piece of skin, that came from a young person far, far away, and they somehow figured out how to extract. It's foreskin from a Korean baby.
To me, you know, sweetheart, one day you should settle down and marry a rich man. I said, Mom, I am a rich man.
Give me those. But you pricked my finger.
You're such a woman.
Well, you were the woman.
No, I'm the man.
Yeah, they always put it in front of us, guys. It's always been in front of us, but we thought it was comedy, right? We all got tricked. I even got tricked. Jennifer Aniston, I had the biggest crush on her. You know, never knew why. No one never had a baby with her. I never knew why that Brad Pitt gave her up and went with Jolie, whatever, Angelina Jolie. Like, I mean, that's why. So yeah, and as you can see, Brad Pitt knew all this long because they did that bit on it. So with that being said, that will be it for tonight's show, guys. I hope you had a ball. I hope you had some comedy. Let's keep in mind is I only do this for entertainment. And with that being said, I will see you guys back. I don't know. I'll be doing a show Thursday because Thursday I'll be in Quebec because of my son has his last tournament of the year. So I can't promise anything. But if I do, it will be on my cell. So it won't be as much like I have here in the room. So it will be on my cell in a cottage down in Quebec. So I will try to keep as many videos as I can for you guys, but it won't be the best quality, I guess you could say. But hey, we're all a big family. We're all doing this for shits and giggles, I guess you could say. It's up to you to think outside the box and determine it yourself if I'm telling you the truth, or this is just all for clickbait like Mr. Freedom does. Anyway, I love you guys all. We'll see you guys back Thursday, I hope. If not, I'll let everyone know. And we'll talk to you later. And like Don Cherry says, you people hold that line, stay positive. It will get rough before it gets better, but I know it will get better because I'm pretty good at analyzing, and I know we'll have to feel the pinch before things start to wake up. Anyway, don't forget to shame and blame your liberal voter today. Adios, amigos.
Miss out. Bringing you the real truth, exposed. The Canadian Don is digging deeper, asking what others won't, and broadcasting it uncensored. For real. Join the conversation live with facts you can see and voices you can trust. Subscribe today.